Monday evening, everybody. Welcome to an episode of On the Capo Stand. I am Ahmed Salim hosting this evening. Alongside me, a whole crew with us today, starting with the one, the only, the man with a heart of purple and a heart of gold, the infamous Mr. David Valentin. And David, how are you, sir? That that speaks volumes in itself.
As you guys can see, I got company. The great Ivy Valentin is joining us today. And, okay, you done? Great. As you
Ivy
guys can
sounds
see, we're going to try to make a show if it's possible.
all right. Ivy sounds like I think the majority of the stadium did this past Saturday. And also with us today, back with us is the man himself, John. John, how are you doing, sir?
Doing good. Nice to have a Monday off for sure.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you back. I know it's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
so
been a
it's
while.
good.
Had some stuff going on, but I'll be a little more consistent now.
Awesome. Well, it's good to have you back with us. And joining the team, we have Misael. Welcome to the team, Misael. Nice to have you on with us.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here on a winning weekend.
You know, I think this has got to be a new trend. It's the good luck charm for the team. All right, wonderful. So just a quick reminder to everybody, we are on pretty much every single social media platform you could want. We are on Facebook, we are on X, we are on Blue Sky, we are on Instagram. Did I miss any? Twitch, TikTok, Threads.
Everything.
Yeah,
Basically
you name
everything
it.
that's out there. We're
Yeah,
on.
at the Capo Stand. We're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And on YouTube, we are on as Davis Channel 76. So if you are not already following us, please like, subscribe, follow, and do all that stuff so we know that you are watching and that you are enjoying what we have. And as always, if you are interested, you know that you guys can reach out to us and join us and be a part of the call. So we look forward to hearing from you. All right. So before we get into the topic that everybody wants to talk about, let's just recap a couple of the other things that we have on hand. Let's start with what do we have here? The OCB minute. OCB just recently played Huntsville, if I'm not mistaken, and their last game was a win. I did
That is
not get to
correct.
watch that game. I believe that John and David possibly did. I think John, you might have
Yeah,
been
John
there.
was.
All right. So you guys want to fill us in a little bit on that one?
Yeah, I mean there was Orlando City B was lucky. I mean, Huntsville came out with a purpose, really attacked and pressed us very hard from the get go. The first goal that Orlando City B scored was a thing of beauty. Tsukada got the assist, and I can't remember because it's not on my screen. Who got the goal, but it was a beautiful goal. Ball started basically on the right-hand side of the pitch, was reversed around, ended up at Tsukada's feet. He went and beat a man, and then put a beautiful cross into, I'm going to butcher his name, but Amaguer, and put it in. I mean, it was a training ground touch in, nobody in front of him. Beautiful cross by Tsukada. Showed why he recently got the first team contract. And then the second goal, we got him on the counter a little bit. Freeman beat a guy, set it up beautifully to get fouled in the box to set up a penalty kick that he put away himself. Clinically, side net, beat keeper, guessed right, and he beat the keeper. But as usual, good time, good match. Brought it up before the show. How good their defense was throughout the match. How they kept their shape very well. And I mean, I thought that Thomas Williams had one of the better matches I've seen him have this season. Watching Orlando City be as much as I do. Had a huge stop late in the match. He celebrated it like it was a game-winning save almost, which it may have been. because the guy was point blank. He slid in, stopped the shot as the guy was taking it, went out for a corner. But I thought he had a very solid game. Showed some of his on the ball skills, made some of the Huntsville attackers look silly by doing some moves, faking them out and such. So he looked really good. Sukata looked good as usual. Petrasso, who's a perennial MLS player, playing as a left back helps as well. When you have his experience out on the pitch and his skill set out on the pitch helps the team as well. And overall, just a fun night, 2-1 win. The one goal by Huntsville was a disgustingly good shot by one of their players that it looked like we were right down by the field. At this point, we moved down throughout the night as the rain started to stop. And he hit it, and I go, that's a great shot. And it just beat the keeper to the far post. Not much anybody could really do about it. He just took his chance, and it paid off. But overall, good night. Fun night as usual with Orlando City B. Like I tell anybody that asks me, why do you go to those games? And to me, it's because it's pure soccer. It's not the hype that surrounds the senior teams matches. It's literally just soccer with an announcer. It's a much higher level of high school still, so it's a lot of fun.
I agree with you, John. I mean, the couple of times that we've been able to go together, it reminds you of why you watch, what you love about the sport. It's like watching college football, but without all the hype. You feel like the players are in it for the sport. They're not at that point where money is not a factor.
Yeah.
I mean, it always is, but
And I mean, a match like last night, it was, I think, except for the three of us, there may have been 10 other people there that weren't family members. So it's a lot. And even the Huntsville had some family members there as well. So that's the cool aspect of it is it's a very,
pride playing at the same time affected the attendance, definitely.
Yeah. But still, even when there's more people there and it's better attended, still the family.
For sure.
Main people there.
I joined John on that assessment. A great family time. The club should do more to allow the season ticket holders to go to more games. My opinion, Jared. I know you're listening, so please make it happen. The other thing that I would like to say is big hello to the Williams family. I know John. You talked to Williams' dad. I listened to this show for a long time. A steward of the club, his son, obviously a servant of football in Central Florida, and a player that I'm very high on. I think last night, to cover on the crevices where John was talking about, I think Luca Petrasso had a fantastic game. Obviously, that loan in Italy, third division, did him fantastic. The guys just played incredibly. On that first goal with the hockey assist, was Wilfredo Rivera, who is going to be leaving us this month for World Cup qualifiers for Puerto Rico. So best of luck to him. And it's great atmosphere, and not to take away from Huntsville, they came to play, and the football gods smiled on us because that penalty that we were given was reckless on their part, and that was what made the difference. So again, as a podcast, we just want to motivate everybody to go to the games. It's a great time.
Funny story to finish it off about Orlando City B about last night. So we get there and it's raining a little bit, so we sit up underneath the covering, in the top 5 or 6 rows, and Barrett, my son, goes, I want to go down. So rain stops a little bit. We go down. You guys will see us if you watch the match. You'll see us pop up right at the bottom level of the upper section. Watch the rest of the first half. And about midway through the second half, he goes, I want to go down. So we go down, sit in the very front row, right next to the wall, right next to the pitch. Well, it turns out he sits there and he's starting to talk like a kid now and communicate a lot more. He goes, okay, I go play now. and starts to try to climb over the wall and go onto the pitch with the players. And then we're like, explain to him he couldn't, that they're big kids, that they're, that they're my height, obviously a lot better shape than me, but my height. And well, then he wanted one of the balls that were sitting on the side, one of the match balls sitting on the side for a throw in. We told him he couldn't go. And then he turns to my girlfriend and goes, Mama, you go, put it in your shirt, and we go. So then that didn't happen. Well, then it turned into he wanted to meet one of the players. So we sat there after the match. Usually the match ends and we leave. But none of the players come up to the wall and say hi to their families. So we stayed there and just sat there. And he put his hand out when the players came over. And one player, which, I get it. You guys the other players are seeing their family and anything. No hard feelings for not saying hi to him. He's just a kid. But, one player made the night extra special for him. He couldn't stop talking about it on the way home. And it was Thomas Williams, and you now have a number one fan because he knows you by name now. Came over and gave him a high five and everything. And
Nice.
So that was really cool to end the night off and everything. Just showed the character of that Thomas is. Not saying the other players have bad character or anything. I'm sure they're all great guys, but Thomas didn't have to do that. His family was over a section from us and everything.
The pride of Titusville, baby. You gotta get him you gotta get him a jersey, bro.
Yep. just wanted to say on here, thank you to Thomas, and hopefully the message gets to him that my son is now his number one fan.
Yeah, I think that's something that's missed out on with these games, is the opportunity to connect with the players like that, especially for younger players. It's a really good opportunity to make that connection with them. So
yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah. I feel like the last few months they've stopped promoting the games as much. Like there was a point where I feel like the front office was really, really promoting those games heavily, and I haven't noticed it now. I don't know if they're more concerned with the first team or not, but honestly, the people that are going to go to the OCB games, they're not necessarily the same people that are going to go to your first team games. At least that's what I think. But
yeah, they put it up on the screen at this last game, and it kind of hit me there when I saw it. Like, wow, this is like the first time I see this in a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I hope they continue to do that, because I think it's important. And you end up seeing a lot of those players play on the first team. So it's unfortunate if we don't do that. I feel.
Yeah,
like.
I mean, when Janssen's got a year or two left more on his extension.
Okay.
He's getting up there in age. I think he's 31, 32 now.
Wow, that's getting up in age. Oof, I'm aging.
That's younger than me, so I mean, I feel it
here.
too. But it's not FIFA. At least it's not the video game where 28 years old they're washed.
Yeah, I know.
But and I could see Thomas Williams, or I butcher his name, so I'm just going to say the other center back who is very talented that starts for Orlando City B. One, if not both of them, could be called up and be senior team starters here in the next couple of years to fill in for Janssen, because Thomas has been on Orlando City B since, was it 22, 21?
He's an academy signing, so he was there from middle school age.
Yeah, well, I'm saying Orlando City B because I know he in 22 he played in a couple of the U.S. Open Cup matches, started a couple of the U.S. Open Cup matches.
Yeah, I believe it's
for the senior team. So he's been around. He's only 20, 21 years old, I believe, and and then the other guy, which I follow on X, but I butcher his name because it's a longer name, and to keep respect to him, I'm not going to say it. He's extremely talented. He's a big guy too. I think he's pushing 6'4", 6'5", if I were to imagine. Like I said, one of those two could come up, and I feel like in a couple of years fill Janssen's boots, if you will, pretty decently.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we were talking about it right before the show started. With this last win, OCB is now in the playoffs, or is still in playoff position, right? Because I believe they're in.
It is in the playoff position.
Yeah,
and we
they're in
bounce Miami to the dirt where they belong.
they're they're in sixth place. We're in sixth place right now. I'm not sure how many more games we have left, but hopefully, we continue on the streak and we make it to the playoffs.
We should
Um,
see the end of the season this coming up month. When the playoffs start, let's support the boys. If you ask me, we should have the playoff games at the main stadium, but that's just me. I don't sign the checks like Jared, and I don't put out the cash like Mark. But I think the fans deserve to support the boys.
Absolutely. And you know one thing too, I think David, I think somebody had thrown around the idea of playing the OCB games before the first team games. I don't think that's a bad idea. I don't think it needs to be every game. It's not like the whole season needs to be played there, but I think for the big games, make it a thing. Make it a thing where you get it.
Inter and Co.
Yeah. So imagine you show up an extra hour early, you see OCB play, maybe for their big matchups. You know what I
They
mean?
add OCB into your game day ticket.
Yeah, add
Yeah, they
OCB.
tried that once, but they had the game after.
I remember
Yeah, no,
that.
no,
But it
no.
was like
Everybody took
45
off.
minutes after the main game, and it was a disaster.
Yeah,
The only
You
everybody took
thing
gotta
you
have
can,
off.
it before, force people into the stadium, and support the boys.
yeah,
I'm not
Listen,
gonna lie,
I'm
I
a
was one of the
I'm a
ones that took
football
off.
sicko. I'm a football sicko, guys. I will watch Pride, Orlando City, OCB all in the same day, one right after the other. But I'm special.
yeah,
I'm that type of person. So, Jared, make it happen, baby. There
yeah.
you go. The
I'm just
fans
saying,
really
because
want it.
from a marketing standpoint, if you really think about it, right? You
Yeah.
say it for all those people that have never seen OCB, bring OCB to them like once. I'm not saying the whole season, maybe once a quarter or whatever, or like if it's the big rivalry matches like Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
You know?
that's a great idea. The reason I don't I to be a devil's advocate, and the reason I think they wouldn't do it is being right next to the pitch like we were yesterday at the OCB match.
Yeah.
If it's even remotely wet, and think about it, how many games? I mean, this year we've been lucky, but
Yeah,
over
yeah,
the course of history, how many matches, even at 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m., have had to be delayed by an hour or two
that's
because of
true.
rain?
Yeah.
And then if OCB played right after the rain, that field's done, a
Yeah,
mess by the time
that's
they get
true.
done.
Yeah.
Um,
No, you're right.
but
There's a lot of factors.
yeah, but it would be cool. I mean, that would be
Yeah.
something that, I mean, imagine, those guys would love it. The OCB guys would love it.
Heck yeah.
Having a full stadium, or mostly full stadium, 15, 20,000 people instead of 20 or 25,000 people sitting there watching a match, I think would be really cool.
Yeah. I think that would be very cool for them.
Definitely.
All right, cool. So moving on. The Orlando Pride is still
Yeah.
undefeated. So many stats on this one. So as of now, Seb Hines became the winningest coach in club history with 26 wins for Orlando. And the Pride earned their 19th consecutive result, extending their NWSL record for the longest unbeaten streak, dating back to October 15th of last 23. And with this win, they had their seventh home win of the season, tying a club record. I mean, we could go on and on. They're doing an amazing job. I think they had a lower turnout this past game because UCF was playing against Wake Forest at the same time. And again, I think it's something to keep in mind. I'm sure the league can't, they can't control everything, but
Yeah, clarification there, Ahmed. UCF soccer, men and female, played this past weekend. At the
yes,
same time, Orlando City and Pride were playing. So if you watch the highlights of those games, you see a lot of people with Orlando City gear. So obviously that's distracted from the audience.
And
Yeah.
the absolute monsoon they got before the match of the Pride match as well.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was
Yeah.
hats off to the turf crew, the maintenance crew that works on the Orlando City Stadium's pitch, because that was drainage system proved its worth in the money Sunday
Did you
night alone.
did you see the time lapse they
was
posted of the
incredible.
drainage system? That was amazing. I saw that and I had to watch it for like a half hour. I was like,
Yeah.
wow. It was crazy. It was crazy. So yeah, so great job to the Pride. Hopefully they continue it, and hopefully we can all learn from a little bit from it. All right. So
Definitely.
on to the topic at hand. This past Saturday, August 31st, at Interenco Stadium, we faced off with Nashville SC. Historically, it's been a toss-up with them, but we walked away the victors, winning 3-0, and it was an amazing match. It really was. We saw a little bit of everything you wanted. I'll save my thoughts, so I'll go around the table. John, what did
Military
you
night.
think?
Military night. I wasn't there, unfortunately, as you guys know. But I want to give a shout out to the head of security over there on the wall. Um,
Oh, yes, because it
who,
was Veterans Day.
yes, yes.
It was the Veterans Day
You know,
game.
the Veterans Night T-shirt was gone by the time people walked in. I don't know how this continues to happen, or see Orlando City, but let's make it happen. Listen, I am in this podcast. We're sick and tired of telling you how to take our money. Sick and tired of telling you that. But anyhow,
Yeah,
our boy here served in the United
place.
States Navy on the USS George Washington. There you go. That was my ship. I was
Yeah,
there when it was 3 years old. I got to see the George Washington when I was a senior in high school. When they hit Port Vincent in Puerto Rico, and I am proud that I served in the OG Dobbs CVN 73 nuclear aircraft carrier. That my whole away from home for 3 years, and I'm happy that the club was able to dedicate a night for us. I know a lot of people are like, oh well, they always do this, trying to make a buck. But the fact of the matter is that I'd rather be recognized than be ignored. And we have a lot of veterans in our fan base, and it's a moment for us to be recognized. And we gotta take it from when they give it to us. Misael, you were there. How was that event?
It was great. At the very beginning, they did announce a lot of people that were in the military. Had them, the obvious. They make them stand up so we can applaud them. I believe they had like a little area with a table with like
yes,
a
they had a.
field.
Yep, the field.
Yeah, with the flag. That was pretty cool. At the very beginning, the walkout with the big American flag out, and the "Proud to Be an American" song, and I don't know if that's the title. I forgot. Um, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Awesome, awesome. So thoughts on the game. So let me say, let's go with you, man.
Um, I mean, very good. Very good night. Mostly everybody, I think, in my opinion, played well. Um, I think a big thing of it was that a lot of people in the East that we needed to lose lost. A lot of times when we win, I feel like the other teams that we need to lose, they also win as well. And in this occasion, well, a lot of the ones that are above us, they ended up losing. But man, Summer Faku. I mean, I wish we could just like start the league in the summer or something because I don't know what it is, man. But that guy, man, he's on fire.
Yeah, and speaking of Faku, with his 2 goals in that game, he passed Nani for the most goal contributions in club history. So a huge props to him on
Yeah, the
that. And
interview afterwards, somebody asked him about that, and he said something like he didn't mean it like in a disrespectful way. He kind of said like, like, oh, like don't worry about Nani, like, but I guess trying to say like he wasn't doing it for that, like it's just coming as it is.
yeah, and for those that are watching, I'm just playing some of the highlights as we're talking about this game, um, showing all the fun times. So, John, your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Starting with the opening ceremony, everything, the empty table for the POW MIA
Mhm.
folks was really cool. That actually was my favorite moment of the night. That stuff always gets me emotional. I'm lucky enough to never have known anybody in that situation, but my heart goes out to anybody that has had to experience that with a loved one. Um, and them explaining it was also good. I mean, I knew what everything meant because I'm a history military geek kind of, but I'm sure there was a lot of people there that didn't know the significance of everything that they had laid out there. They did that very well, and then the national anthem with the big flag, the honoring the military at the one of the cooling breaks with everybody standing up and like
Yeah.
Messiah said, proud to be American, was on playing was incredible. Um, Overall, I mean, you can't take there's very few negatives you can take out of Saturday night. You beat anybody 3-0, clean sheet, score 3 goals. Kind of going into this match, I didn't know what to expect with Nashville having a new coach in BJ Callahan, who, when he was at the interim helm for the U.S., looked like one of the greatest managers in the world with how the U.S. played back at the beginning of the year. But there's something going on with the players in Nashville. Something just doesn't look right about them. They used to have a bite to them. And now that all they want to do is whine and complain to the referee. I mean, if Hani Mukhtar spent half as much energy scoring a goal than complaining to the officials, he might actually, score a goal every once in a while, which I know he hasn't done very consistently this season, and that's because all he does is complain to us. I mean, we were 40 seconds in, a foul was called on Cartagena, and he was already
shoulder checked
complaining to the
Cartagena
ref.
for no reason.
What's that?
Sorry to cut you off. He shoulder checked Cartagena for no reason.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know what part of the stadium you sit in, Maseo, but late in the match, there was a tackle he made that he kicked his off foot through. And I'm shocked they didn't go back to review that for a red card, because that was, in my opinion, I think Hani Mukhtar is one of the dirtiest, cheapest players in the MLS, period. And it kind of proved it Saturday with what I saw from him, as much as he complained. And then the little cheap things that he would do. There was one time in the first half, no, I'm sorry, it was in the second half. Orlando City had an attack, and he was back a little bit defensively, and Cartagena was right there. And he sits there and kind of throws a chicken wing out to Cartagena, and Cartagena says something to him, and Hani just looks at the ref trying to get Cartagena to get a second yellow, and then later in the match, the tackle, which was a clean tackle until he kicked through. He's always been one of my most hated players. It used to be because he always killed us, and now it's just because he's become, and I'm keeping it very clean, he's just become a whiny little baby on the pitch that tries to get away with the cheap stuff.
Yeah.
I was thinking during that game, I was so amazed of how he went from MVP to he just had a major drop. Like, it wasn't gradually. I feel like he just went from MVP and just completely just disappeared.
Yeah. And I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like it happened last year. Late in the season when we went there and completely shut them out.
Yeah, they've been bad after the League's Cup of last year.
Yeah.
Ever since then, they've been on a major decline, which is kind of weird because, I mean, I know it's, one of our rivals, but they have decent players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. I guess we complain that about, here. That we think we have decent players and we don't know what's going on, but I don't know. I feel like they should be way better than what they are. Something's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're absolutely right. I mean, Nashville's historically one of those teams. When we were playing them last season, it's like that. Those are the players you worried about. You worried about Mukhtar. You worried about Zimmerman. You worried about, there were a lot of players. I mean, yeah.
I remember when everybody feared Zimmerman, and now everybody just runs right by him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's still a threat in the air. And one of the things I want to bring up was Schlegel and why he's, I was questioning going into the match why he started over Breclo, but, I thought Schlegel had Zimmerman on the free kicks and the corners right in his hip pocket.
Yeah.
And
honestly, I just don't see what the improvement was to let Gary Smith go. Personally, Gary, if you're listening to this, when you just Stevenage ASAP, please. But anyhow, Gary Smith, former Stevenage manager, um, and they take him out, and they're horrible. I believe they haven't won a game in eight outings.
Well,
And let's be
this is
honest.
only BJ's second match, so that's a
Oh,
little
okay.
harsh.
Oh, so
Mm.
that's their permanent manager now.
Yes, BJ Callahan's our permanent manager, the guy that was
Okay.
at the helm on.
Well, good to know.
And in
Um,
this, the goal that's showing right now, I also wanted to bring up that run by Muriel to open up that left side
oof, sickening.
was a thing of beauty. And then Duncan having the patience and the knowledge to kick it out to Faku
Yeah.
was top tier.
I thought
And
Duncan
like I
had a
said,
great game.
overall, there's not much negative you can say about Saturday night, other than yet again it was a team below us on the table that we handled business
Correct.
against.
Correct.
So
But
honestly,
it's to
yeah,
me, it's still a rivalry.
Yeah.
it is a rivalry, but you
Oh,
know
yeah.
what? So the question becomes, does this give us a false sense of security? Right? Do we look at this game and we're like, yes, we played a good game, but did we really? Would we have done the same thing against, I don't know, who are we playing the next few weeks? A Columbus that we're playing on the 21st. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. I was talking about it with my wife. We were at the dinner. I'm like, a win is a win, right?
Correct. And I
Definitely.
gotta tell you this. Our goal right now is to finish top four, God willing, or make playoffs.
Yes.
And then once we go into the playoffs, then start lighting candles, praying to every deity in the sky, and pray. Of course, she was quiet the whole time. I had my mic muted. Uh, and and what we need to do is pray that we can make some noise in the playoffs, because to me we play like we were supposed to play. I mean, we went to Kansas City, we got the other end of the stick, and then
Literally,
I mean, you're muted, brother.
literally the other end of the stick. It was the
Absolutely, and I finished with this. We treated them like we're supposed to treat a team that has nothing to play for. I mean, the third goal to me was the most telling, because it was a
oh, all right.
don't know what happened. Can you guys hear me?
I thought it was
Yes.
me. Yeah, we can.
Live podcasting. I finished with this. That last goal to me was what happens when people understand that, hey, we need to win. Muriel, perfect run, took all the defense with him, and perfect pass by Duncan, and Faku once again comes a goal short of the ever elusive hat trick that we haven't had since 2015.
Yeah, he almost had it.
He tried for it. He had options there late in the game in the next attack, and decided to try one from about 20 yards out where he could have had an easy pass to I think it was Muriel on his outside and somebody else on the inside. But the other worry I have is the team hasn't shown the capability to actually break teams down.
Correct.
You think about it, every goal on Saturday was on a counter or off the press.
Mm-hmm.
First goal was a lucky goal. Second goal was in transition. Didn't really have to break them down, and then the third goal was a straight up counterattack. So they still haven't shown that, and I'm not complaining. If that's the way they're going to play, that's the way they're going to play. Not my preferred way of playing at all. But it was kind of Kansas didn't let us counter, and we looked dead offensively 2 weeks ago. And then we play against Nashville that's trying a new style, more possession. And we did to Nashville what they've done to us many times and killed us. We killed them on the counter. So it's a lot of, cautious optimism, if you will, going after that match. Because, we only have 8 matches left now, I think. And it's, a lot of the same, even though we won.
But I believe that makes it 7 actually after
7.
this.
Okay.
Yes, 7 games. 7 games. Agreed. We have a
Yeah,
couple of
my
comments.
oh, go ahead.
No, go
Sorry.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Misael. It's fine.
No, I was gonna say when David was bringing up about playoffs, I think that Crew is going to. They didn't yet. No, they didn't yet. I think eventually they're gonna jump over Cincinnati, and we need to get out of seventh because playing them in the first round and you have to win 2 out of 3. I mean, Crew is already pretty much everybody's penciling them in to win the whole thing, and how can you blame them? But I don't want to face them in the first round and having to win 2 out of 3. Like that's impossible. I don't know.
No, I agree. Cincinnati's definitely struggling right now. Costa's been out. Their center backs are injured. They actually had to bring a free agent in to provide some cover at their center back position. And as long as Lucho's out, that was the attack of that team. You knew anytime you played them that if you stop Lucho, you stop their attack. And they did have one of their new signings step up Saturday.
Yeah, I saw that. I forgot his name.
It's another Lucho, but I forget his last name. But Cincinnati's
Lucho Costa.
No,
the other guy.
There's another Lucho that they signed that stepped up.
Okay, wow.
That
Okay,
stepped up Saturday, and I think he had a brace or a hat trick, or I know he scored at least one goal from midfield. That stepped up. So yeah, Cincinnati's been struggling. Columbus is Columbus, and I agree with you, Misael. I see Columbus. Nobody's catching Miami in the regular season, unfortunately.
No.
It's what it is. It's what it is. Nobody remembers who the supporter show winner is.
Yeah.
Nobody does.
So I definitely see Columbus jumping Cincinnati, and then if we get into that, I'd almost rather be in that 5th position and face Miami because it's not Columbus.
There you go.
And honestly, if you look at it right now, what separates us and between 5th and 6th place is just 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 1 point between each position. So I have a feeling over the next couple of weeks we're gonna see we're just bouncing all over the place.
Yeah. Those 3 above us, those 3 above us, Charlotte, New York, and the other New York, they all lost.
Yep.
Yeah.
We needed that.
Hey, Misael, do you mind reading the comments that we have?
Serge Nash says, evening. We got lucky with last 3 points. Win. I guess he meant win is a win. Also, he said Gillespie still the man. Oh yeah, he saved us there. Carlos Perez, goal scored stat is gonna play a big role on where or if we get playoff spot. OC needs to win by big margins.
Absolutely. So
1000% on that comment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. All right. So that is anything else on Nashville we want to talk about, or are we looking ahead?
I don't think so. I mean, why do we always get so many yellows against these guys?
That's one thing I wanted to bring up. Thank you.
Yeah, man, it's insane. Also, I saw. I'm not sure if I'm correct on this, but I saw that Lodero's assist was his 12th, which tied this club single season record.
Yes, I did see that as well. Yeah.
And I'm one of the ones that's been advocating for that guy to go. And when I saw that, I was like, "Wow, okay." He shut me up.
Oh, it wasn't a real assist. Though it was one of the secondary hockey assists. I hate that stat, man. I mean I hate that stat. If anybody deserves a secondary assist on that, as much as I've been, maybe not on the show because I haven't been on it recently, but to other people around me just bashing on Muriel. If anybody deserves a secondary assist, it's Muriel because of making that run, opening that up for Facundo. But
there was an attempt. It was in Spanish they call it the taquito. Is that like a back heel type of thing that Ojeda did? That if that ball would have gone down, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that if the stadium would have fallen to pieces if that goal would have gone in because it was so filthy and disrespectful. And I gotta tell you, Ojeda, that Ojeda and Enrique, they understood the assignment. And right now, they're sitting down people that we're paying a lot of money for in Muriel, in Lodeiro, and Duncan. They're a great problem to have, guys.
Yep. That nutmeg that Ojeda had that led to the second goal.
Yeah.
That was that he had a couple of them,
The
but
place
that
went
was
nuts.
just disgusting.
Send him out for a hot dog. And, you know,
Also,
I'm not an
the
advocate of that, guys, because those people have families they gotta go back to, and it's complete murder. 911.
And I'll go this way too with it. You know, as much trash as Nashville tries to talk, especially last season, about their supporters, how they have the best supporters in the MLS and all of this stuff. You guys had like 10 people there sitting in your in the away supporters section.
Yeah.
Where was your support? This is 2 matches in a row that 3 matches no 2 matches in a row, playoffs last year and in this one, that you guys have had a handful of supporters there. And if Nashville's supporters are so strong, it's not that far. I've driven to
they
a
don't
match
travel
in
like we do.
Nashville before. It's about 10 hours. You're
Mhm.
coming to Orlando from a wannabe Orlando.
Their mascot made the game.
What's that?
Yeah.
Their mascot made the game. So
That's
that's
because he's
excuse.
from Apopka. His
The
mascot's
mascot
from
is from
Apopka.
Apopka?
Yes, his mascot's from Apopka.
Oh wow.
Wow.
I know people that know him, and he was here celebrating his mom's birthday. So that's the only
So
reason.
he lives in Nashville, but he's from
Bring his
Apopka.
suit.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Oh my
well,
gosh.
okay.
The
well.
attendance, we had like 22,000. Well, that's
I don't.
22,853. I don't know.
I think
If
it
that's
was like closer to
turnstiles, but,
17.5.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a pretty good crowd.
Yeah. For everything that was going on, being opening week of college football, the Gator game was still going on.
Yeah.
And the University of Miami was playing the Gators, so that was, I'm sure a lot of people were distracted by that, and being the last long weekend, I'm sure there were a lot of people that were, taking family vacations, last family vacation until
Right.
Thanksgiving or Christmas and such.
For the people that complain that we don't have the same schedule as Europe, this is the reason. You got your college football, you got the NFL, you got minor league hockey, you got the NHL. I mean, you have a lot of stuff going on, man. And you know what? In this town, Orlando City has to compete for the dollar of the sports fan, because this weekend you had UCF, a bunch of different sports. You had, like I said, you had Pride, you had OCB, you had Orlando City, and people have lives, and in most cases, people were, like John said, taking the last hurrah. It's the end of quote unquote the summers vacation season. It's a long weekend. People took that opportunity to go. So I think September and October are going to be big for our club as far as attendance. The temperature starts going down, and people, and also this closes the cycle of our friends from the UK coming down, because now most people are going back to school, going back to work, and so yeah. I mean, I wanna throw a shout out to our friend Kevin Reese from Stevenage that was in town. Unfortunately, I was unable to see him because I couldn't make the game because of my niece. She was sick, and it obviously was pertinent for me to stay home. And we're gonna throw a shout out to our friend Tom Lord, the king of Bolton, England, that is gonna grace us with his presence on the 14th. This time, Tom, we promise to guard you against the evils of drinking bourbon, beer in the Florida heat. Because the last time he barely made it home, his wife told me, "Listen, I don't need to be a widow. Please take care of this man next time." And Tom, we're gonna take care of you, brother. We can't wait to see you again. And I know I spoke with Tom recently, and he's like, "Man, I need Orlando City in my veins." So we're gonna make sure that it happens. But my friend, we're gonna have to pace you accordingly. So
We need to have him on sometime, because his collection of retro Orlando City kits that he has found on eBay or in England, I'm jealous.
Tom has a 2015 red kit that he bought in like a second, like I don't know, like what do you call these things that that you buy
Like a thrift shop?
Like
Yeah, like a
eBay,
thrift shop.
like Goodwill or what have you.
Right. That right now, that kit is priceless. I told him, listen, you're gonna put your kids through college if you sell this today. So
Yeah,
sit on it.
here's the kit that for those that can see that,
Oh,
Wow.
just
That's the
sickening,
kit that
brother.
he has.
Sickening.
I think.
Sickening. So
Yeah,
so
he
with
got
that,
one, and then he also has this one that he just bought. If it shows up, there we go. I know it's not the greatest quality because it's off my phone, but he was bragging
Just
to
by the
me.
looks of it, may look like a 2014.
No, it's the 2013
Oh my
because
goodness.
it's got the outline around the collar.
Oh, so he has the two championship kits. So that enough said. I can't believe that those kids made it to England. That to
I believe
me
it's 2013.
is
Yeah,
what's
it's crazy.
amazing about this whole thing. But I
No,
know
it's
the
the
guy
home
is
kit. No, I'm sorry, it's the home kit from 2012.
okay. Wow. Listen,
Wow.
I know a guy in Scotland that has a pink 2013 kit that he wants to put for sale, and I gotta tell you, he's gonna put you in the thousands. And I told him he actually put it in market. I said, hold on to that, sit on it a couple of years, and you may be able to buy yourself a car. Because and I kick myself that I never pursued those USL kits back in the day, the USL merch guys. And now it's obviously we have the retro kit for the away kit this year, but it's never the same, and also I am so jealous of the people that can actually wear their kits. I have a 2014 kit that when we had the honor that history, like a moron, I forgot that I had one to get it signed. I can't wear it because I'm a fat dude. So yeah. So to all of you guys that can still wear your USL era kits, God bless you, because I can't. I'm too fat.
And you brought up an interesting thing a minute ago too, David, about the us not being on the European calendar that I wanted to add to. Imagine playing in Toronto, anywhere in the north in January or February, specifically Toronto, New England, uh, Minnesota, Cincinnati. I'll even throw in there. Columbus, I'll throw in there. Um, and you could even go as far as Nashville and the Carolinas, and having terrible weather in the winter that they don't necessarily see over in Europe everywhere. They're not.
And John, to interrupt you there for a second, my friend. This is not me making it up. North America is 15 degrees Fahrenheit colder than Europe. And also for those of us that follow the EFL, real football, not the glamour of the EPL. You already know that the EFL started in August, and already the temperatures are 20, 30 degrees below what we have here in Orlando. So I just want to let you know that, and there's pause in December and January because obviously the pitches get buggy because of rain and snow. So yeah, I'm telling you, I do not look forward to Minnesota or Toronto or Montreal away in February or January. That's insanity.
Yeah, no, I mean it's something that I'll be hard against whenever that debate comes up is following the European calendar because I one the sports they have to go up against specifically NFL, and then even after NFL, you have March Madness in March, you have the NBA and NHL playoffs and baseball opening day in April. Nobody will show up to the matches when you combine the weather, the sports they're going up against. We think New England has terrible attendance now. Imagine their attendance when the Patriots are playing and the Bruins are playing and the Celtics. They all three of those teams play at the same time, sometimes on the same day, and people in Boston, because I lived there for a summer, will choose those over choosing going to a soccer game any day.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think it's there are a lot of good arguments for that.
Then
All
we
right.
could open the can of promotion and relegation if you wanted.
Oh, listen, we'll be here 15
Oh
hours.
boy.
We got a comment if you guys can jump on that.
Sure, Misala, can you read that out, sir?
Mark Rodriguez. Hey guys, wanted to say hello, John. Glad you are back. Ahmed, we have to meet. David, congrats on the new addition to the family. Misael, welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Would love to meet up with you at the stadium sometime. For
And
sure.
guys, we keep saying all the time, the show is yours. As you can see, Ahmed and Misael started as listeners of the show, and here we are. And Misael is old school because he used to listen to my Spanish language podcast. So thank you. I want to clarify one thing is that I'm in the process of adopting my niece, and she's a little bit over a year old, and usually she's asleep. Not tonight because we have to do the show. I guarantee you the rest of the week she's gonna be sound asleep every single night. So I appreciate Misael coming in to like feeling when I can really make it. John knows personally what I feel about him. The fan base tells me all the time they appreciate his presence here, and the Prince of Egypt, the King of the Nile, the man behind all the technical parts of this podcast. He doesn't need to be mentioned. You guys already know who he is. Without this show, without him, this show can't run. So me personally, David Valentine, I just want to thank the guys. I want to thank the 25 people that are watching us live. Thank you very much. Our live audience has gone down a little bit because obviously X wants to charge us money that we don't have to be on their platform. So hopefully we'll get back to our numbers like back in the day. So guys, let's take it down to the end of the evening. We're gonna be having a bye next weekend for all you guys. If you guys show up to tailgate and you don't see anybody, now you know why. There's gonna be a bye which is gonna come in beautifully because it's gonna give us time to rest. Although I've put in Kansas City 2 weeks. So on the 14th, we're gonna be playing against New England Revolution, a game, guys, that has to be a win because as of right now, we gotta beat everybody above, everybody below, because we don't want to repeat what happened a few years back, where we went down to the very last game and just the luck of the draw that is Columbus, we were going up against. Columbus goes somewhere else, wins, we were out of the playoffs. So expectations coming up on the 14th.
You can go ahead, Ahmed.
I mean, listen, we always say football is played on grass, not on paper. On paper, we're the better team. On paper, we've been the better team the last 2 games. And we saw the outcomes, right? I really am worried because of that bye week. That bye week worries me more than anything because I feel like when we're on a high like this, we need to ride it, right? I think some of the players are out. I think I saw somebody.
Facundo got called up.
Yeah, and Cartagena, I think went away. Because they have the time. To me, it's a mindset thing. Like I feel like the reason we're not seeing consistency is because something is up, right? And having that bye week, I feel like just adds another variable in there. So that's my concern. Should we win? Yes. Are we gonna win? I really, really hope so. We need it.
Is Carlos Heel back?
Yes, he'll be back.
Yeah.
So we need to be firing on all cylinders on that game, just like we were. If we're consistent in how we perform, there's no reason we shouldn't win. If we don't win, that's probably to me what it is. We're not gonna replicate what we just did, if not more. We need to play like we're playing against the top 4. We can't go in and say, oh, New England's in 13th place. No, you need to treat it like they're one of the top 4. That's the type of performance we want to see. And for me, that's why I've always said a loss isn't a loss. The loss is more of an issue depending on how we play.
Definitely.
So we need a win. I don't think anybody would argue that, and that's my expectation. It's just that consistency that we're lacking. So, Misael?
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I hope it's always one of those things when we have an international break, or I mean, we barely have, MLS barely stops for that. But when we do have a break, we tend to come back sluggish. I don't know if they just, I don't know what they do on their days off or what, but yeah, we come back and it's like we totally forget how to play. I mean, that's what happened with Kansas City. I mean, I'm not saying that's the excuse. I'm just saying that, we got eliminated from the League's Cup and that whole little couple weeks off. I think it was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
When we got eliminated, I think there was 2 weeks after that.
2 weeks.
Yeah. And so then we come back against Kansas City and,
And and to your point, it's like that's what in the beginning of the season when we had these games and we were losing them, people are like, you're okay. You got plenty of time. It's still early in the season. this is when it becomes a problem.
Well,
When you have,
Kansas
you
City.
know,
I'm sorry, Kansas City made the Open Cup final,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah, we were playing against a semi-rotated squad 2 weeks ago against Kansas City.
which makes it worse.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, because
exactly.
And to
because when
put the cherry on top, not to cut you off, Misael,
no, it's
but
okay.
to go kind of with what Ahmed was saying, because I thought the same thing coming out of League's Cup, is this all goes back kind of to the beginning of the season where what are they doing in training in the preseason that it takes them, this year it took them 5 months to really start competing consistently in matches. So then you have 2 weeks off after League's Cup to when we play Kansas City. And then one of, I would assume, your leaders on the team, Facundo Torres, says after the game, oh, we weren't 100% coming into this match. How are you not 100% coming into a match that you just had 2 weeks to prepare for? What are you doing? Too many rondos for the camera in training, or I mean, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
I heard when he said that. Yeah, that was.
And it's like, to go to what both of you said, coming off of this break, I like that Facundo's with Uruguay and training with them. Hopefully, he gets a little bit more minutes. Match minutes, so he comes back fresh and stays healthy and everything while he's down there. But it's like, yeah, we lucked out because we don't have to play a match potentially missing some players, but it comes right after a convincing win.
Yeah.
What team are we going to have come out on the 14th and perform against New England, even though they're bottom end of the table, they're still dangerous.
And New England plays St. Louis, so they're going to still be playing. Not obviously they're 13th, but like Ahmed said, we need to beat everybody, and so they're still gonna be playing. They're still gonna be
Yeah,
fresh, warm. Um,
and from that perspective, they've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
yeah,
Where
definitely.
they're at, they've got nothing to lose, man.
Well, I chalk up the Kansas City loss to Papi not wearing the white T-shirt. I think he didn't wear, and then he just wore a white T-shirt on Saturday. So
There you go.
yeah,
You know what?
Well, see, I saw him wearing that white T-shirt, and I'm like, oh, that's it. He's saying he's done. That's the white flag he's waving because he never. I think that's the first time I've seen him actually wear white on the sideline that I
oh
can
no,
remember.
he's been wearing the white T-shirt this whole streak. We've been.
Oh, I thought it really okay. I thought it was off
Yeah, I
purpose.
think it
It's
was
been a
something like
thing on
his
Facebook,
wife bought it for
John.
him for their anniversary or something like that. He said.
Yeah, his
Okay.
wife bought him that shirt for his anniversary.
Yeah, and ever since then, that's when we went on this nice, streak we got going here. Then Kansas
Listen,
City, I think he wore like a black T-shirt, and
New
there
England
it went.
is a poisonous snake, man. We gotta step on it and forget about it. We gotta win. We gotta win, guys. Show up. Let's support the boys. No excuse. The weather's supposed to be gorgeous in 2 weeks, and I'm gonna be there. If I'm gonna be there, don't. I always say, it, don't leave me by myself. Let's go support the boys.
David will
And
be in the supporter section. My dad will be in the supporter section.
we'll
We'll
see.
all
We'll
be
see.
there.
It depends on if
No,
somebody
no
goes
offense,
with us.
David, and no offense to my dad, but the stanchions that support the supporter section, and myself included being there, will be tested that night with the three of us jumping up and down.
For
Oh,
sure,
God.
brother. For sure.
Didn't New England pick up a new player? I'm trying to see.
They did. I'd have to do some research on it.
Where's New England on the table? I'm sorry, guys. I don't have my
13th.
phone with me.
13.
They're in
13.
13,
Yeah,
How many points they have?
26.
20.
20.
How many points we
26.
have?
37.
Okay. So yeah, they're not playing for anything. That they may be playing for a wild card game. So they would love to come. Just like I would say, like hardware store mice. Whatever they don't chew on, they like to pee on.
They're only
So
5 points out of the ninth position, though.
Mm-hmm.
look at that. We have a little home stands. We have to win. We said it in the show many, many, many times. Guys, we have to win our home games. Our home form this year is atrocious. And the fans, right, exactly. The fans need to feel like that we can win at home. Let me tell you something. When you win, you see that mass of people going into the cars happy. And you know what that does? Next game, they bring a friend, they bring a relative. You know what I mean? If we lose at home, what are they gonna do? They're gonna stay home, or they're gonna begrudgingly show up if they even if they don't feel like it. We gotta win at home. We gotta win at home. Goals change games. Like Inchi used to say, this game was no exception. And like I believe Carlos Perez already said, we have to score goals because as tight as the East is, goal differential may decide some positions. So we have to
Oh,
score goals.
absolutely.
Period. That's
Yeah,
it. So
absolutely, it will. All right. What else? What else? What else? I think that's all we have right now,
We have
gentlemen.
the match on Wednesday too. After New England.
Yes. So after New England, we have the following Wednesday. We are
Charlotte.
welcoming Charlotte on Wednesday, September 18th.
Which is above us, which is
Which is
a
above
must
us.
a must win.
Yes.
I mean, all of them should be from here on out, but
That
Yeah.
that
I mean,
that
they're
match
above us.
alone, if we take care of business on Saturday, depending on what Charlotte does, could potentially move us up to 6th or 5th.
That match will
Um,
be our first test in a
Yep.
while.
Charlotte
So
doesn't. They don't play this weekend either.
Okay.
yeah, they do not, but they are. I was just looking at it. Their remaining games, they're playing Montreal
Hmm.
on the 14th. They play us. Then they played New England, Miami, and Chicago.
So mostly an easy schedule.
Yep.
Great.
So we've got work. We've got work to do. Next time we meet, we have a lot to talk about. So with that said, we will not be meeting this next Monday because of the bye week. So the next time we meet will be the following week after we have met with
New England.
New England, thank you, and Charlotte. And
right. And
hopefully
so
we'll be
there for now. We
reporting
got
on.
plenty to talk about.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can persuade the pride of Bolton, England, Tom Lord, to be with us.
Yes.
And what else? What else? That's right, Orlando. That's
Yeah,
right.
she has something to say.
And one thing I want to say. Yeah. One thing I wanted to say is I was surprised by the amount of kids celebrating their birthdays, asking for shirts at the game. I have to say this because our good friend Sergio was on the call for the Spanish Apple Plus, and our good friend Miguel Gallardo was in the English. And my apologies to those on audio. But anyhow, the one of the things that Sergio mentioned is that this is how you create fans for life. What a great moment! 5-6 years old, and it's your birthday, and you are at the stadium, and a win like that, guys. We have continued to say this over and over. The future of our football is in the terraces with the kids. Little Bear goes there. Ivy soon will be joining the Barra Bravas with diapers. And listen, fact of the matter is, I'm just so happy to see our football growing. There's a YouTuber from England that covered the game against New York City with OCB, and we shared that on our social media. He just said that it was great football, and when we see people that have great football next to them, and to give us that praise, it means a lot to me because a lot of people want to come and call MLS a bunch of names, but the reality is that our football, and it's not gonna grow, and it's not gonna get any better if people like the little girl that I'm holding don't go to the games, don't go to the stadium, and don't cheer on the boys. It's that simple. So, right? OCSC, baby. All right, guys. I think we have covered everything. If you have the parting words.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. And I will do the sign off for David. As we always say, soccer is played on grass, not on paper. If you have never cried over soccer, have you really footballed ever in your life? So for David, John, Misael, and myself, vamos, Orlando.